right, so yesterday we, I think we finished most of it. So I just want to review quickly. Yeah, we finished all 5?
No, we didn't. I didn't.
Yeah, we're like right towards the end. So, gills, obviously fish have gills. They use for extracting oxygen from the water. We got through that. Floats in the water, allowing it to mate. As we talk about each group of vertebrates, we're going to talk about their heart and how many chambers their heart has. Do you know what humans have? How many chambers in our human heart? Kara?
2.
No?
3.
No?
4. 5.
On each side. A left atrium, left ventricle, right atrium, or right ventricle. But other classes, those types of hearts, they have a simple 2-chambered heart. And then another chamber which pumps the blood out. The chamber that pumps the blood out is called the ventricle. Did I tell you guys yesterday my hammerhead shark story?
No.
Alright, I'll tell you my story.
It's like 4 stories.
Yeah, I know, I got a lot of stories. So this is, I guess it's somewhat related to circulatory system. When I was a kid, I was probably close to Florida, like around Fort Lauderdale. So we used to, one year my dad decided he was going to take me deep sea fishing. So we're in Florida and you pay however much money, and you go on a boat with like 30 other people that are also doing the same thing. He take you out in the ocean and bring you way out, and you can go fishing and catch whatever. Right, but it was fun, got to go in the ocean. And so we were fishing, they just had regular fishing poles and stuff, and you'd cast them, and you had little chunks of fish that you'd use to try to catch fish, and I think we caught a few things. But then on this boat, one of the things they did on every trip is they would have like a little raffle, and so they'd pick numbers, and whoever's number they picked got to fish with live bait. They would pull for you, and you could fish with that and hopefully catch some bigger fish. You get a bigger, thicker pole as well, because you're going to catch a bigger fish. Up for us, they cast it into the ocean, and so we're fishing there and whatever, and all of a sudden, after a little while, we catch something. And so we have our regular poles, and my dad and I, but our pole is like bent over, almost like it's about to break. We got some big fish on our hook. So, we're trying to reel it in, and we don't know what we're doing, so we can't really reel it in very well. So the crew members come over and they help us, and they're fighting with the thing, and they're reeling it in, and they have to yank it in and reel it. Finally, they get it up towards the side of the boat, and we can sort of look over the edge of the boat, and it's huge. It's bigger than I was. It's probably, in my memory, it's like 6 feet long. Maybe it was not that big, but it was a very big fish. Turns out it was a shark. It was a hammerhead shark. It was kind of with the eyes on the side of its head. So they reel it in, and so now it's kind of scary because I'm like 8 or 9 years old, and there's a shark right there. But anyway, they're going to bring it onto the boat somehow. But it's not like just some regular fish you catch in a pond where you reel it in and it's dangling on the thing. It's this huge, 100-pound fish. So I didn't really realize this, but to get it onto the boat, what they do is they bring out some tools. They bring out a big sort of broom handle sort of thing, and on the end is a big hook. And so basically the crew members, they lean over the side of the boat and they jab this hook into the side of the shark, okay, puncture the side of the shark, and 2 of them do that, and then they both like hoist the thing onto the deck of the boat. So now the hammerhead shark flops over, and now it's mad, right? Because they just poked 2 big holes in the side of it, and blood is pouring out of these holes in the side of it. But it's not dead. It's still alive. So I'm 9 years old, and they hoist the thing on, and now it's flopping around on the deck of the boat, okay? Because it's not dead, it's just mad now, and it's flopping down, chasing me down the deck of the boat. In my mind, as an 8-year-old kid, it's trying to eat me, as blood is pouring out of it, and I'm like slipping in the somehow subdue this shark. So no, they can't shoot it. It's on a boat. There's people all over. No, they don't stab. Instead, they go in their toolbox, and then they bring out baseball bats. And so then, to actually kill the shark, they basically get out their baseball bats, and they just start smashing the thing in the head until it's unconscious and it's dead. So that was the only time I ever went deep sea fishing. I never went deep sea fishing again because I was obviously traumatized by this experience. of the hammerhead shark trying to eat me on the deck of the boat.
You go get the
And then so at the end they say, okay, well, you guys can take it home. You could have the meat from this shark, because you could eat shark.
Did you take it?
No, we didn't want. I had enough of the shark. I wanted to just get off that boat and never remember it again. But so they just gave it to somebody else on the boat. They like cleaned it and cut it up or whatever and gave it to somebody. So that was my hammerhead shark story.
Would you go deep sea fishing now?
Would I?
Yeah.
Well, now I don't eat fish. No, I probably would not. But
Wait, you weren't a vegetarian?
Is that why you don't eat fish?
no, that's not why.
Why don't
So that was an interesting experience.
you tell us?
No, we're gonna move on. Go on to the desk.
Wait,
All right.
tell us why.
I read a book and I just don't
Yeah,
like eating
like go around
animals.
the dust.
Yes, Valerie?
Oh, I said
What?
what are the 14 sharks?
They're left atrium, left ventricle, right atrium, right ventricle. All right, so let's talk a little bit about fish anatomy. So as we talk about all of these classes, you refer to the parts of an animal using a few terms. The anterior. And this is used in all anatomy. Like, if you ever heard of somebody damaging their ACL,
Yes.
what does the A stand for?
Anterior.
Anterior. Posterior, right?
Posterior.
The back side, the spine side of an organism is called the dorsal side,
Like the dorsal.
and the belly side is the ventral side.
There's so many numbers.
Yeah, you should know those terms.
Pretty hard.
All right, so if we look at the external anatomy of fish, the parts are fairly obvious. Fish do have a little nostrils, two nostrils. Fish can smell. They basically can sort of sample chemicals from the water that they can sort of smell in the water. An eye. Fish have eyes, on the side of their head, so they have very good peripheral vision. They can see a very wide area, but not great depth perception, how close or how near something is. The fins, the top fin of a fish, like you imagine like a shark in the water, like in a movie, and the fins poking out of the water and swims around. It's called the dorsal fin, yeah. That top fin is the dorsal. Some have one, some have two. The back fin, the tail fin, is called the caudal fin. The fins up here are the pectoral fins, the ones that are just beneath the gills. And that helps protect the gills. They're very fragile, very thin, they can be damaged easily. So they have this harder sort of scale that protects them. And that's what you see moving. When you see a fish, if you look in an aquarium or something, you see a fish and you see these things moving. Every time it takes water into its mouth and forces it out, those gill covers move.
What's that little thing right next to the pectoral fin?
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's another fin. That's the anal fin, actually. It's called an adipose fin sometimes. In trout, they have a little fatty fin on the dorsal side. If we look inside of the fish, we could see all the various parts. Fish have a small brain. It's basically just an enlargement of the spinal cord.
Do we have to rewrite those?
You don't have to. So you have the brain
Brain.
connected to, what's this?
Spine.
The spinal cord.
Wait, the brain is
Wait,
the
which
second
one?
Yeah, this is the brain, this
Oh.
enlargement here. And then the spinal cord. Again, now they're not shown, but blue. And, we talked about the swim bladder yesterday. So when I was telling you the fish came up and their swim bladder was extended out of their mouth, that means that swim bladder increased a large amount all the way out to the mouth and probably crushed most of the internal organs. The heart's down on the ventral side, sort of just below the gills. And again, it has two chambers, the atrium, which receives blood, and the ventricle. The fish's gills are up here, above the heart, and you can see them in the back there, and they are surrounded by many blood vessels that absorb the oxygen. Fish's digestive system, they have a stomach to digest food, and then intestines to absorb those nutrients from the food. Yep. And veins that carry blood. So those are the internal organs of the fish. So anybody have any questions about those? Any questions? So that's it for fish for us. Any questions about fish? This is like a bass or something, but if you catch a fish, these in the fins, they're sometimes spines. Now they're not bones, but they're sometimes really sharp. Like if you touch them, they poke your fingers. Yep. Okay.
Have you ever looked down the mouth of a fish?
Have I ever looked down the mouth of a fish? I don't
You can
know.
see like the spinal cord running down the
I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
What's he saying?
Because their mouth is connected directly to the esophagus and stomach. So you shouldn't be able to see your spinal cord because that's one tube. But you can see stuff in there. I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
It was weird. It was like a light blue fish. I went deep sea fishing.
What are we done with ourselves?
And he kept a shark.
See?
I hear
Scary. You don't want to catch a shark, I'll tell you.
That's big.